During a gripping interview, an overconfident reporter attempted to belittle Bruce Lee, but the outcome left the world in awe. The guy had no clue he was up against a profound thinker. "I've grilled presidents and Pulitzer winners," Victor Hargrove sneered, straightening his cufflinks in the prep area. "This karate sensation won't survive 3 questions." It was a crisp evening in Hollywood, 1972. The sun had dipped low, but inside Studio 12A, the spotlights blazed like midday. Victor Hargrove, 55, lounged against the vanity, arms folded, posture radiating unshakable assurance. He was the station's star interrogator, blending a sharp New York twang with cutting wit and a knack for unraveling the toughest subjects. For decades in broadcasting had etched his face with a perpetual grin of superiority, and tonight, he figured, would be routine. He'd dismantle this Bruce Lee fellow, a flashy fighter chasing stardom with acrobatic stunts and film gigs. Victor had balked at the booking initially, but with Bruce's fame exploding, he grudgingly signed on. The junior producer, Elena, fresh out of college at 22, clutched her notes tightly. She stole a glance at Bruce Lee, who was nearby, loosening his shoulders with quiet poise. At 31, he wore a simple navy blazer and polished Oxfords. Serene, focused, unruffled. "I read he coaches Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Roman Polanski," she murmured to the sound tech, Marcus. "Sure," Marcus whispered back. But Victor sees him as a glorified acrobat with slick hype. 15 minutes to air, Victor strolled over with a sly grin. "Well now," he drawled, waving dismissively, "they say you shatter bricks with a glance. Planning to flip the podium if I probe too far?" Bruce offered a gentle smile. "I'd rather exchange ideas than blows." "Sharp tongue? This'll be entertaining." As Victor strode away, Elena leaned toward Bruce. "Ignore his jabs. He thrives on rattling guests." "I'm no rattled cage," Bruce said evenly. "I'm the stream." Elena blinked, intrigued by the quiet intensity in his voice. It sent a subtle chill through her. The stage lights hummed to life. A studio audience of 50 hushed in anticipation. The theme music swelled, and the announcer boomed. "Welcome to Insight Hour, delving beyond the surface. Here's Victor Hargrove. Tonight, with global action icon and martial arts pioneer, Bruce Lee." Cheers erupted. Bruce entered gracefully, nodded to the crowd, and settled in. Victor's gaze gleamed with mischief. "Mr. Lee," he began, "you've wowed crowds with aerial spins and bare-chested brawls, but let's cut to the core. Got anything beyond the blockbuster flair?" Elena peered up from her script. The ambush was underway. Bruce remained steady, almost meditative. He smoothed his lapel and answered without hesitation. "It's not about spectacle, it's about growth. Combat pits you against others. Martial arts conquers your inner barriers." Whispers rippled through the seats. Some heads bobbed in agreement, others tilted in fascination. Victor snorted lightly. "Eloquent, I'll admit. But mid-flip, are you pondering barriers or just the camera angle?" Bruce considered it, granting Victor a moment of grace before replying. "I'm attuned to harmony, rhythm, precision. Not for show, but to convey authenticity in motion." "Sounds like ballet with bruises," Victor quipped. "It can be artful," Bruce countered. "Yet it's also primal instinct, and nothing reveals truth like the will to endure." A charged hush settled. Viewers edged forward. The crew, Marcus, Elena, even the grip, shifted from duties to rapt attention. Victor's next thrust, "You've preached be like water." Charming slogan, but unpack it for us mortals. Bruce pivoted subtly, holding Victor's stare with unveiled clarity. "Water flows without force. Shape it in a vase, it mirrors the vase. In a kettle, it fits the kettle. It's yielding yet relentless, eroding stone over time." The room fell pin-drop quiet. Victor blinked, caught off guard by the metaphor's depth. "Profound for a guy famed for splintering doors," Victor grumbled, scrambling to steady himself. Bruce eased back. "You witnessed the strike, not the silent years forging it." Backstage, Elena jotted the line furiously, circling it for emphasis. It resonated deeply, though she couldn't pinpoint why. Pressing on, Victor pivoted. All right, point taken. But isn't martial arts rooted in brutality? You tout restraint, yet it's all about the fight. Bruce's demeanor held firm. Brutality stems from unchecked force. Martial arts instills mastery over physique, pride, and impulses. Victor's grip on the armrest tightened. The exchange was veering off script. Bruce wasn't merely composed, he was reshaping the narrative. With poise alone, he was unraveling Victor's strategy. Desperate to escalate, Victor leaned in. Come on, you're Hollywood royalty now. Fat paychecks and all. Isn't this wisdom just a glossy wrap for aggression? Bruce's grin sharpened subtly. If I peddled aggression, I'd hawk weapons, not wisdom from Lao Tzu. The audience burst into chuckles. Victor's composure cracked visibly. The show segued to its midpoint, Victor's face now tinged with warmth from the glaring lights. He feigned zeal, flipping through index cards. Let's elevate this, he said. You spout ancient proverbs, but have you tangled with Western thinkers? Without pause, he plunged ahead. Ever ponder Descartes, cogito ergo sum? Bruce inclined his head. I think, therefore I am. Victor arched a brow, taken aback. Impressive. And Nietzsche on the will to power. Bruce responded smoothly. It's the drive to overcome, but true power lies in self-mastery, not domination. Victor hesitated, gulping water to cover, but Bruce pressed on seamlessly. Intellect without humility breeds hubris, knowing enough to assume mastery over all. The subtle rebuke landed like a feather, yet it stung. No venom, just insight. The room pulsed with it. Staff, execs, spectators all felt the undercurrent of wisdom overpowering bluster. Victor's ego flared. So you squeeze in Schopenhauer amid sparring sessions? He scoffed with forced mirth. Bruce laughed softly. I majored in philosophy at the University of Washington. I devoured texts in cafes, jotting epiphanies during workouts. That revelation stunned Elena off stage. She'd skimmed his bio but missed the scholarly depth. It hit like a revelation. Victor rallied. What about hard science? Quantum mechanics? Most stars dodge that. Bruce fired back without delay. Einstein's relativity, time bends with speed. That's every swift strike. But energy equals mass times velocity squared. It's why I balance force with intent, action with reflection. He leaned in, eyes steady on Victor. I bridge the physical and cerebral. Martial arts decodes the body. Philosophy articulates the soul. I'm the interpreter. The ensuing quiet wasn't strained, it was profound. Victor fidgeted, his barbs fueling a blaze of enlightenment. No fury from Bruce, just intellect slicing keener than steel. Marcus elbowed Elena behind the lens. This ain't Q&A, it's a masterclass in grace under fire. She nodded, etching another gem. Bruce delved deeper, drawing from his roots. Born in America, forged in Hong Kong, I returned to a land that boxed me in stereotypes. Victor paused at the edge of identity. Too Asian for leads, too Western for foes. I carved my path, teaching anyone, every race, creed, because the spirit knows no borders, only effort and evolution. The atmosphere thickened with sincerity. Bruce added softly, education isn't cramming facts, it's igniting curiosity. Martial arts sparked mine, teaching how to question, not conform. Victor identified it instantly. Aristotle? Bruce confirmed with ease. His emphasis on practical wisdom aligns with my training. Theory without practice is hollow. Now Victor's expression softened, not in defeat but dawning respect. The crew gaped as Bruce elaborated on Jeet Kune Do, not rigid form, but fluid adaptation. Embrace the valuable, shed the obsolete, infuse your essence, he said. You turn fighting into improvisation, Victor murmured. Bruce beamed. Precisely. Disciplined creativity, that's the spark of innovation. The word innovation lingered. Did you lift that from a seminar? Victor teased lightly. Bruce replied steadily, no, I crafted it. The hush was electric. That pivot shattered Victor's facade. For the first time in his storied career, he was speechless on live TV. He eyed the booth, Producers stared back, mesmerized. The broadcast light glowed as viewers absorbed the reversal. "You authored that," Victor echoed, voice hushed. Bruce nodded. "It struck me watching a pupil mimic blindly. So I guided, embrace the valuable, shed the obsolete, infuse your essence." Victor swallowed hard. He dismissed a similar maxim in a journal recently as mystic fluff. The irony burned. "I suspect," Victor ventured thoughtfully, "folks fixate on your feats, overlooking your intellect. Hence, I whisper wisdom," Bruce said, "to ensure it's truly heard." A poignant pause ensued, not tense, but affirming. The audience rustled, then applause swelled organically, not for drama but depth. Victor drummed his fingers, not smugly now, but reflectively. He pulled his wildcard note, meant to trip Bruce. "You've noted that self-knowledge emerges in interaction. Elaborate." Bruce held firm. "Isolation breeds illusion. Truth unfolds in challenge, in dialogue, in bonds. We shine through others. And here now?" Victor probed softly. Bruce grinned, revealing that wisdom whispers, and true strength wears humility's cloak. That sealed it. Victor grasped Bruce's brilliance, not concealed, but overlooked in his haste. The segment wrapped not with fanfare, but a gesture. Bruce rose, bowed to Victor and the crowd. Defying his usual bravado, Victor stood and reciprocated. Unscripted, authentic. The live feed cut. The energy lingered, transforming all present. Bruce slipped on his coat as Elena neared, notes in hand. "That was transformative," she breathed. Bruce smiled. "Words connect us." Victor lingered at the desk, crumpling his last card. It seemed trivial now. He intercepted Bruce exiting. "Lee," he said, tone stripped of edge. "A word." Bruce turned. "I arrived to debunk a fad," Victor confessed. "Instead, you forged a link between might and mindfulness, cultures and consciousness." No triumph from Bruce, just warmth. Then mission accomplished. "I misjudged you," Victor added. "It happens," Bruce said kindly. "But growth follows." They clasped hands. That evening, Victor scrapped his draft twice. His snarky headline, "Starlet's Fighter Spins Yarns," became "Smug Reporter Challenges Bruce Lee, Discovers a Visionary." Syndicated widely, it sparked floods of mail from educators, thinkers, athletes, novices, devouring Bruce's works, circulating the tape. Tragically, Bruce departed soon after, his legacy timeless. Yet that dialogue echoed in dojos, lectures, lives globally. Victor archived the footage in his den. When queried on his toughest sit-down, he'd play it wordlessly. In his final days, he confided to his daughter, "Cherish Bruce Lee. He schooled me in an hour what lifetimes often miss." And in the realm of action and insight, force and finesse, Bruce's mantra lingered, "Be like water, my friend." Lee's philosophy extends beyond fighting, influencing personal development by promoting mindfulness, discipline, and the unity of body and mind. He viewed JKD as a lifelong process of refinement, warning against dogmatism. Truth is a pathless land. Today, JKD continues to inspire martial artists and thinkers, emphasizing that true mastery comes from within rather than adherence to any single tradition. During a riveting showdown on live TV, a smug anchor set out to dismantle Bruce Lee's image, but the master flipped the script in ways no one saw coming. This reporter was clueless. He was sparring with a legend in disguise. "I've cornered senators and Oscar legends," Victor Hargrove boasted, fiddling with his watch in the bustling green room. "This chopsocky star? He'll crumble like a bad script." It was a vibrant twilight in Hollywood, 1972, with the city's neon buzz seeping through the studio windows. Palm trees swayed under a golden haze, but in Studio 12A, the Klieg lights scorched like a desert sun. Victor Hargrove, a grizzled 55, propped himself against the mirror, arms akimbo, exuding the aura of a courtroom prosecutor. His New York bite, laced with razor-sharp irony, had toppled egos for four. decades, leaving his face etched with a smug, unyielding curl. Tonight? Okay. Bruce Lee was just another fad, a whirlwind of flips and fist chasing. The silver screen glow. Victor had dragged his feet on the gig, but Bruce's meteoric rise, packing theaters and dojos alike, made it unavoidable. Blame it. The wide-eyed 22-year-old producer fidgeted with her headset, her notes a whirlwind of highlights. She eyed Bruce Lee across the room, where he methodically rolled his neck, exuding an almost ethereal calm. At 31, clad in a sleek navy blazer, crisp shirt, and leather brogues, he was the picture of understated power. Did you know he mentors Chuck Norris and Sharon Tate? She hissed to Marcus, the burly sound tech. Yeah, but Victor? He pegs him as a circus act with a killer agent, Marcus chuckled, adjusting his boom mic. 20 minutes to showtime, Victor ambled over, his grin predatory. Heard you're the guy who snaps chains with a glare. Gonna karate chop the host chair if I dig too deep. Bruce met his gaze with a serene nod. I'd opt for dialogue over demolition. Ooh, feisty. This'll be a riot. Victor sauntered off, chuckling. Elena sidled up to Bruce. He's all bark, loves stirring the pot. Bruce's voice was a gentle ripple. Not a pot to stir. I'm the ocean. Elena felt a spark, his words lingering, like a riddle she yearned to solve. The countdown hit 0. Spotlights flared. An audience of 60 buzzed with electric anticipation, their whispers a low hum. The opener blared, tune into Insight Hour, where truths unfold. Victor Hargrove here. Joining me, the explosive force of film and fists, Bruce Lee. Roars of approval. Bruce glided on stage, a subtle bow to the crowd, then eased into his seat like a cat, claiming territory. Victor's eyes danced with scheming delight. Mr. Lee, you've electrified screens. With whirlwind takedowns and ripped physiques, but strip away the stunts. What's left? Substance or smoke? Elena froze mid-note. The gauntlet was thrown. Bruce? Unfazed, a Zen statue. He tugged his cuff lightly. It's evolution, not exhibition. Brawling conquers foes. Martial arts vanquishes your shadows. The crowd stirred, gasps, intrigued murmurs, a smattering of thoughtful nods. Waved it off with a smirk. Poetry in motion, huh? But when you're hurling bodies, is it soul-searching or spotlight-chasing? Bruce pondered, his pause. A masterstroke of respect. Its synergy, poise, pulse, precision. Applause but raw expression. Like a brutal tango? Jabbed, leaning in. It mirrors dance, yes, but laced with life's raw edge, where endurance bears the soul. Tension crackled. Seats creaked as viewers leaned closer. The crew ditched tasks for the spectacle, Marcus mouthed. Wow, Elena's pen flew. Victor circled back. That be like water. Catchy, but what's the real deal? Fortune cookie fluff. Bruce locked eyes, his tone velvet steel. Water yields yet conquers. Mold it to a bowl it fills, to a riverbed. Carves canyons. Humble, relentless, it erodes empires. A collective breath. Victor faltered, his retort dying on his lips. For a door kicker, he recovered weakly. Bruce reclined. The kicks. The echo, the silence before shapes it. Elena underlined furiously. Line destined for posters. Victor pressed. But martial arts? Glorified violence, right? Control's just a pretty bow on chaos. Bruce's gaze steadied. Violence is power unleashed wildly. This path tames the storm, body, ego, reflex, in harmony. Victor's knuckles whitened. Bruce wasn't buckling. He was redirecting the flow, turning barbs into bridges. No fireworks, just quiet dismantling. Time to amp it up. You're Tinseltown's darling now, big bucks, bigger hype. Isn't the Zen shtick just savvy branding for brawls? Bruce's smile edged sharper today. Glint of amusement. If I sold savagery, I'd peddle chainsaws, not echoes. Of Lao Tzu or Krishnamurti. Laughter erupted, genuine, rolling waves. Victor flushed, his throne wobbling. Time loomed, but Victor, sweat beading under the blaze, shuffled cards with feigned flair. Let's crank the dial. Eastern riddles are your jam, but Western minds? Chew on this, Socrates, know thyself. Bruce nodded. Fluidly. The unexamined life isn't worth living. Victor's brow shot. Spot on. And Hegel's dialectics. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis. The clash that births progress, Bruce volleyed. But wisdom warns, clash without compassion is destruction. Choked on his water, but Bruce flowed on. Mind's edge dulls in isolation. Sharpened by humility, it cleaves truth. A velvet jab, the room sensed. It, a ripple of awe. Victor bristled. You sneak Plato between. Push-ups. Bruce chuckled warmly. Philosophy was my major at Washington U. I'd train at dawn, then hit the stacks, blending sweat with Socrates in my journals. Blanus. Jaw dropped. Her research had skimmed this gem. Victor pivoted desperately. Science, then? Relativity? Actors flee that stuff. Bruce countered. Instantly. Einstein, energy's mass times speed squared, that's every explosive strike. But quantum uncertainty? It's why I adapt, not anticipate. Rigidly. Leaning forward, eyes piercing, I fuse realms, the bodies. Physics, the mind's poetry. Martial arts? The translator. Silence. Bloomed, sacred. Victor's arsenal fizzled. Bruce ignited minds. No clashes. Enlightenment's glow. Marcus whispered to Elena, this is viral gold. Clinic in cool. She nodded, capturing more pearls. Bruce opened up. From San Francisco birth to Hong Kong streets, back to America's glare. Navigated the in-between. Not hero material, not villain fodder. So I forged ahead, sharing arts across divides, every hue, every heritage. 'Cause the fist sees no flags, only fortitude. The air thickened with raw honesty. Bruce continued, learning isn't rote, it's kindling passion. Martial arts lit mine, urging inquiry over indoctrination. Victor perked. Plato's cave? Echoes of, Bruce affirmed. Escape shadows through action, not abstraction. Victor's smirk faded to genuine intrigue. As Bruce unpacked. Jeet Kune Do, not dogma, but discovery. Harvest the potent, prune the pointless, weave in your spark. Symphonic chaos, Victor ventured. Bruce lit up. Thus, orchestrated. Spontaneity, the genius of creation. Learn that on the spot. Victor half laughed. No, Bruce said evenly. But birthed it. Thunderous quiet. Victor's world tilted, decades of dominance. Undone. The control room buzzed, airwaves hummed with history. You penned that? Victor whispered. Bruce dipped his head. Born from a disciple's mimicry trap. I urged, harvest the potent, prune the pointless, weave in your spark. Victor's irony? He'd mocked a kindred quote days prior as woo-woo wisdom. Now humbled. People chase your prowess, blind to your profundity. So I murmur truths, Bruce replied, drawing ears that truly tune in. Waited hush, then applause built, not rowdy, but reverent, like rain after drought. Victor, reflective now, unearthed his ace, self-discovery. Through others, what's the essence? Bruce held steady. Solitude. Sketches, encounters color. In friction, affection, exchange, we unveil. And us here? Victor murmured, unmasking that insight hums. Softly, and poise masquerades as pliancy. Epiphany. Struck, Bruce's brilliance, veiled by Victor's veil. Fade out sans bombast. Bruce rose, bowed deeply to Victor, then the throng. Victor, ditching decorum, mirrored the gesture, raw, reciprocal. Lights dimmed. Echoes lingered, reshaping souls. Bruce donned his coat. Elena approached, starstruck. That redefined everything. Bruce grinned. Connections do. Notes discarded like shed skin caught Bruce at the door. Leith's voice softened. I stormed in to shatter an icon. You sculpted a gateway, fusing force with finesse, worlds with wonder. Bruce, gracious, purpose, served, underestimated gravely. Common ground, Bruce said, but bridges rise from missteps. Sealed it. That night, Victor tore through Draft's fourfold. Opener, Fist's philosopher fumbles, morph to cocky anchor. Ambush Bruce Lee, unearths an oracle. It exploded in syndication, igniting dialogues, scholars dissecting, fans philosophizing, everyday folk echoing mantras. Bruce's untimely exit months later amplified the legend as words weaving through eras. Enshrined the tape in his library. Toughest chat. EQ it. Silently. On his twilight breath to kin. Etch Bruce Lee deep. One session. Schooled me beyond lifetimes. In the dance of drive and depth, brawn and brain, his whisper endures. Be like water, my friend. Ever seen ego shatter so poetically? Channel Bruce in a bind. How? Drop thoughts below. Smash like, subscribe for more mind-bending sagas.